So you know how in the world we have decided arbitrarily to draw lines around different geographical formations to cause statehood and countries and things like that. Well, everyone's favorite token, Candace Owens, is yet again making a butt face out of herself by defending really bad immigration practices and debating a Black Lives Matter activist and leftist. This individual, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know his name. Maybe he'll be introduced. Don't know it. There's a full debate. I don't know how long it is.
I do want to also say
42 minutes that I don't think we need to watch. We could just watch. And Hawk Newsom. We could just watch this one. But so this guy's Hawk Newsom, apparently. So this is a conversation about immigration. I bet he's smarter than Candace. I would bet pretty regularly that whoever's talking to Candace Owens is smarter than Candace Owens, unless that person is right wing. So, ever had chicken and beer? What? Yes.
I see people whose country has
I'm so happy for you.
been ravaged by atrocity after atrocity, earthquakes, hurricanes.
Oh,
the Clintons. Like
that's a good way to get in. That saying the Clintons are just like earthquakes and hurricanes is absolutely a good way for people to to get on your side a little bit. If you are a leftist and you're in a right wing crowd. Thank you, Miscellaneous, for the 5 months.
These people are hopeless, and they are trying to make it to the land of opportunity. I'm not having a whole debate, but as a Christian, I feel compassion for those people. The imagery, when it first hit, looked terrible, right? Now, even looking at this, it does evoke. Like, I would love for you all to look up a study by the American Psychology Association about racial trauma, right? Because it's really a thing, and it has a similar effect as PTSD. Any soldiers out there, you might know what I'm talking about. But with that PTSD, looking at this, it makes me think about slavery. Now, they came out with the and I'm gonna finish quick, with respect.
It makes me think about slavery. I think that's a reasonable, like, this person's a BLM activist. That's a reasonable understanding. Like, I don't know how if you just stop being such a partisan hack on the right, and you just start like entertaining reality. Yeah, that imagery absolutely came across as like it was evocative of slavery, and the psychology of like race and facing racial discrimination. Like, that's just gonna happen. I don't know why Candace. Well, I do know why. The answer is money. But I don't know why some people actually buy into this shit where they're like, well, like, the racism didn't happen directly to me and they didn't just say the N-word explicitly. So, well, it's not really racism. It's not systemic. It's just happening. Actually weird to me.
The story about the whips, I was like, wow, this is effing horrible, right? But I see people in a really destitute, 15,000 people who are starving, who are just seeking a better opportunity. And I see them being exploited by the media, by this administration. Listen, when the Mexicans were at the border and Trump was in office, all of these same Democrats, AOC, Pelosi, Schumer, they all ran to the border, right? Trump is the worst person in the world. But I was the one standing up in the dark, the lone voice, saying Obama's immigration policies were atrocious.
This is like, if you're a leftist, you tend to agree with this. It just, the problem with this is that you're saying these things to ingratiate yourself with a right-wing audience that are just going to lap that up without understanding the nuance of why you have those positions. rather than just going to agree and be like, yeah, Democrats are trash because lefties are bad. You know what I mean? I feel like he should qualify this a little bit more.
Trump's doing the same thing. Now Biden's doing it all over again. And flip-flopping Kamala 2 months ago said, I can't do anything about immigration. It's out of my hands. It's too much to handle. The fact of the matter is, Democrats nor Republicans have figured out immigration. Period.
I would say, yeah, well, we didn't have this going on when Trump was president, though. Obviously, the numbers that are coming in right now are like nothing we've ever seen before. And I think a wall would work, but
Oh my
also maybe not because they're taking flights. Yeah, why do you think they're coming now?
What? Those Haitians weren't.
Yeah,
there
why
were
do you think they're coming now?
thousands coming to the border when Trump was president.
Yeah, but
like people come to America.
We did not have a
People
surge.
come to America. Most of the people
I'm glad
here
he's pushing
today.
back. I'm glad he's pushing back.
We did not have a surge of Haitians showing up at our
All right.
border when Trump was president. So I'm just asking a question. Why do you think they're coming now?
You know what? The world is in a destitute place. We were ravaged by COVID, whether you believe in COVID or not. The economy was shut down. There's been a lot of problems. Like, America has a problem with black migrants.
That's true.
With migrants of color. When they were rounding people up, I didn't see one Russian person in handcuffs. Like when we had the raids in New York, when I used to have to go to make sure that ICE wasn't beating the crap out of people, it wasn't in white neighborhoods.
This is true. This is true. And then the two tokens on the team are gonna be like, no.
Tell me white people aren't here.
I'm sorry.
This is Brandon Tatum, by the way, if you don't recognize him. Officer Brandon Tatum, who's looking thick, by the way. I don't know. I think Brandon's eating well. Hey, don't get me wrong, I am too.
Illegally?
America has a problem with black immigrants. Are you or brown immigrants? What are you saying? I want to get this straight from you.
Well, I don't.
Are you including Mexicans?
Yes.
Do you know that they account for over 50% of all of our immigrants? So we have a problem with over 50% of all of our immigrants.
But what about the Asian immigrants?
Well, they can't run over the border, so they actually come in legally.
So
Asia's pretty far.
Wait. We've been here before.
Yeah.
We've been here before.
How many
There are
Asian-
two borders. People sneak into this country of all walks of life. Stop making. Just
How
give
many
people- just
illegal
give-
Asian
just-
immigrants do you
just-
think we have in
just-
America?
How many illegal Asian? Okay, so usually the number, like they say, they come over illegally. This is not really true. The vast majority of illegal immigrants, like people that the right wing wants to kick out, are expired visas. They came in legally and then stayed longer than the visa was supposed to allow. It's overstayed visas. Canadians do this all the time, and many Canadians are white. This happens regularly. French people do it. Russian people do it. It happens all the time. This isn't like... What does she think? People are like literally smuggling into the country because she knows that Mexicans do it, and she doesn't think that happens just in a legal way? Because once you're in the country, it's pretty hard to fucking like find you and root you out of the system. This is ass. What an ass take right here.
Give people the truth.
I'm telling you the truth.
Everybody comes into the country, and Democrats and Republicans alike make these exploitative mockeries of immigration by just pointing to the ones who are of color, who are politically
That's
poignant.
not true. African immigrants come here legally. No, this is just not true. Hulk, I can't just let you say something that just makes no sense. Okay? African immigrants come here legally. Asian immigrants come here legally. They're separated by oceans, so yes, that's the reason why.
African people come here illegally as well.
But not in the issue that we have right now. Not in a surge. Yes, there are some. Yes, there are some illegal African immigrants. There aren't 200,000 at the border trying to come in. Okay.
People being at the border and wanting to come into the country is not illegal. It isn't. And also 200,000 people isn't a lot of people. You could let them into the country and it would be fine. Did you know you could let 200,000 people into this enormous country and not notice them? Like, what? This is wild stuff. Anti-immigration rhetoric is so strange to me. Why don't you want people in this country? Even if they have no money, what they do have is labor, and you're already in a labor shortage right now because you refuse to pay people well. So, like, pick one. Republicans are so fucking short-sighted when it comes to, well, everything. But especially things like immigration and healthcare. Ugh.
Okay, that just is not what's happening. Be realistic.
The
illegal immigration problem is almost exclusively a problem that's happening at the south of the border.
No. The thing that's happening at the south of the border, and the reason that you think that's the biggest problem, is because it's visual. Like, the visual of someone risking their life to cross, like, the Rio Grande to come into the United States, dude. Like, that's the visual you have. Most immigration and most illegal immigration is not illegally entering the country. It is illegally overstaying. Most illegal immigration isn't sexy and doesn't run news headlines because it's, like, quiet and boring and, like, bureaucratic, and there's paperwork. It's not sexy, like, actually. And I say sexy in the way that, like, the media picks it up. They're like, ooh, that's a story. When you see poor immigrants, often brown-skinned or dark-skinned, coming into a country that is mostly white, that is fucking, mistreating these people. That's what makes it a story every single time it happens.
You paint with these wide brushes and you deny people the truth.
You're not painting with any brushes. Do me a favor,
to everybody who's watching, stop listening to people on TV and read a effing book.
Okay, I brought up Thomas Sowell.
You told me. Google.
Let me jump in. I brought up 3 Thomas Sowell books.
Thomas Sowell sucks. Like, holy shit. We lost 800,000 to COVID, and I think 200,000 immigrants isn't the problem.
Listen.
I brought up 3 Thomas Sowell books, and you shut those down too. So do you what do you want?
Let me interject. Right?
John Henry Clark.
Let me interject.
Let's talk about black authors who I read. Like, I'm a huge fan of James Baldwin. Like, just because I don't read thank you. You can clap. You can clap. It's all right. It's all right to be a lone person in the majority. No, it's really okay. It's real, especially when people are trying to suppress your thoughts.
Nobody is suppressing your thoughts. I'm suppressing what is actually incorrect, and I'm correcting it, and you're getting upset. And when I correct it with an actual book, you say that book is not good enough. And then when I correct it with an actual fact, you say...
An actual book? Well, it's Thomas Sowell. He's actually not a good fucking person. Thomas Sowell has terrible ideas.
Go read a book.
This is very simple. We have immigration laws. It's very simple. If you want to come through a port of entry. Nobody gets rejected at a port of entry. You go through a proceeding. Now, if you go under the fence, you go over the fence, you start getting caught out on the Rio Grande, you're going to get detained. It's very simple. It's very simple. We can work on some of our immigration laws, but we do allow more immigrants in our country than any other country in the world. Millions a year, legally.
And the overwhelming majority are immigrants of color. So I'm slapping down your lie that we're somehow...
Let's
racist in terms of the immigrants that we're accepting.
No, but you stop talking when she talks. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
You've been talking for like, you got a whole show going on. I'm just gonna say this.
It's like a breath of fresh air to some.
When we talk about racism and you talk about the bias against people of color, I mean, the Border Patrol agents are 60% Hispanic. So most of the Border Patrol are people of color in the first place. So I don't believe in the race.
But we're not. God damn it. It's not specifically about just the like aesthetic, physical characteristics of the immigrant, the proverbial immigrant to enter America. It's about the idea of how we treat immigration. And you're like, okay, come through a port of entry, cool. But the port of entry is not an automatic immigration into the country. The reason that America has the highest rate of immigrants in the country is because we have a large country with lots of different opportunities within it insofar as like educated people are concerned. We don't let in just fucking anybody. We have pretty strict standards for people coming into the country, and many of them already have like educations and stuff. What we are talking about, what leftists are talking about, is that there is clearly a portion of the country of not just Mexico, but the Central and South America in general. Our neighbors, they're just human beings that live in a different place. That's the whole thing. And all leftists are saying is that people from these countries, specifically these countries, poor and often brown, right, our physical geographic neighbors, right, have a really hard time getting into a place where they can have a better life than they have elsewhere. And the reason, the sneaky reason that someone like Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens and the Republican I guess political body in general don't want these people is because those people who come into the country often vote against Republicans. Do you know how you could instead win those elections, Republicans? You could have appealing policies. It doesn't have to be so contentious. This is another situation where we just, like, people choose cruelty for the sake of it. Yeah, Haiti. Well, these were Haitian immigrants right here that they're even talking about. Yeah, Haiti is a great example of that. Haiti was basically founded to, you know, as a slavery island. And so there's a lot of people of African descent there. And there was people after the climate disasters and stuff like that. There was like fucking earthquakes and hurricanes and fucking COVID. And, you know, America doesn't give a fuck about anybody that's nearby it except for itself. And it's just another one of these things where it's like, can't you simply recognize the humanity that someone has on the other side of an arbitrary line? Please. That's what leftists are asking for. Give people an opportunity. You can monitor them. You can have rules for them. I don't care. Like, give these people an opportunity, because not a lot of them do. There's a reason they risk their lives to come across the border. Why wouldn't you want someone like that in the country? It just drives me nuts. Not all states allow non-citizen immigrants to vote. That's true. That's true. But once you get citizenship and stuff like that, you can be naturalized. Depending on what you are. And, of course, those people that have kids, like if they birth kids, those will be citizens. So they worry about that, too. So, right, mostly they worry about second-generation voters when it comes to that.
Racism that you are portraying. When I look at what happens with AOC and them running to the border when Trump was in office, because they were trying to draw attention to make Trump look bad. Now they don't want to go to the border because they don't want you to know what's happening. You're talking about 15,000 people. Not only have they came over here illegally, not only have they breached and pretty much invaded our country, they do not have satisfactory conditions that they're living in. We cannot offer them proper food. We cannot offer them proper housing.
What do you can't? What do you mean you can't? You can't offer them housing, food? What? I thought we were the land of bounty. We have so much excess. What do you mean we can't? We refuse. We simply could. We could do this for all American citizens, too. This is always so wild to me. We can't. Absolutely we can. We waste so much.
Offer them safety. And the reason why they're coming here.
We can do that for Afghanistan. Listen,
the reason why they're coming here is because our administration is pretty much telling them it's an open border. You come here, you get in.
No one's saying it's an open border. This is not the policy of the Democratic Party. It isn't.
Have amnesty. That is the reason why they're coming here and putting their lives on the line.
I'm with you, right? I'm with you. Like, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
I think that was like 40 seconds right there. I did that in 40 seconds.
I'm going to do it real quick. I'm going to do it real quick.
No, he's not.
As a Christian.
No, he's not.
Probably won't, right? As a Christian.
Like a black pastor.
As a Christian, if people are fleeing political persecution, they're fleeing a country ravaged and devastated, I have a heart. I care about people. Now, if you want to talk about this country, the Democrats saying, hey, it's an open border, it's a lie, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to what I'm saying. Let them say. This is why I can't finish in 40 seconds.
No, understand.
Listen, you're saying they're encouraging them, saying them that it's open
What
borders.
I'm saying is a lie.
The problem is what politicians say to you and what they actually do is not a new concept. That's American as apple pie. So they're saying, yes, when Trump is in office, come. Now, they're in power. They're like, stop. I can't do anything for you.
That's true.
Like, I'm not here to argue politics. I just love people.
Yeah. I also want to say that to that point earlier that you said about PTSD. What did you say? Post-Black syndrome or something, which is akin to people in the military.
Racial trauma.
Post-Black syndrome? She can't even, for a second, steel man a position. She can't. She's incapable of giving a good faith argument.
Racial trauma, and you said when you saw these whips, or same with slavery, which you said is akin to PTSD of people that were in the military, and you said it's a similar thing that you experienced when you at first thought that people were being whipped. the Haitians were being whipped.
Imagery has an effect.
Imagery has an effect. I do want to also say, just like out of respect to the military men that have PTSD, they actually served in the war. You were not actually a slave. I find that to be a bit offensive.
Wait.
The last thing I want to say.
No.
The last thing I want to say.
You absolutely.
It's ridiculous to say that.
Like, what a fucking scumbag, dude. Like, what a fucking scumbag thing to say. Holy shit.
You have PTSD is a trauma that you suffered, that you experienced.
I will not allow that to ride.
You weren't a slave. You don't have PTSD from slavery.
And racist system.
Where were you whipped? Where were you whipped at a horse whip?
Slavery still exists.
The 13th Amendment of the United States
with a law degree
Constitution.
and no education.
When you bash
from
people
slavery
like Naomi Osaka, who has mental issues, you bash people with mental illness. That's what you do.
And you just
you're trying to spin the story here.
You bash people who have mental illness. So of course you would
Well,
dismiss
yes, you know what? I
the
think
whole
it is a
theory
mental
of
illness
racial
if you
trauma.
think that you're suffering from
Of
PTSD
course.
from slavery.
No one said PTSD from slavery. She's just a fucking snake, dude.
You've never been a slave. I'm not
Of
bashing you, I'm
course.
just calling
It's
it out.
the after
That
effects
PTSD,
of
do not
slavery.
correlate it to the
It's
military men.
racism.
Why don't they look at each other? Have you noticed this? Neither of them looking at each other.
We're suffering from something they
America.
actually
And
experienced.
you
Like she finally, what? Neither of them really. It was really weird, dude. Candace Owens is such a fucking slime ball, dude. Like, what a slimy lady. Ugh. Like, I don't know how you can be a right-wing person and listen to your political, like, superheroes talk and not go, that's not even close to consistent. You know what I mean? Like, how do they not hold these people accountable at all? Ugh.